Hey there, good morning. I just woke up out here. Took a little trip to a very remote part of Arizona, just above Sycamore Canyon. And this is what the sun is doing to the rocks behind me. And I was gonna do a video today about privilege because it's International Women's Month starting in March, and privilege and thinking about privilege is really important for male leaders. But what I want to do today is actually tell a story about a retreat, about leadership, kingship, busyness, intensity, and aloneness. Last night I slept underneath that canopy next to the Jeep, and before the clouds moved in, the stars wheeled across the sky. Every time I woke up, a new constellation was above my head, a new and different vastness across my sight. And this morning I woke thinking about the story that my friend and mentor Adam Velturo told me about the knight in rusty armor, which is a long allegory about a man busting out of his own shell. But the part of the story that came to me this morning was about the knight visiting or being led to a castle in the wilderness, a rundown, silent castle in the wilderness. And he went inside this broken down, rustic, not very majestic castle. And he was surprised to find the king, his beloved king, the man that he'd sworn fealty to, the man whose leadership he followed. He was surprised to find the king in this rustic, broken down old castle of silence. And the knight asked the king, what are you doing here? Why aren't you surrounding yourself with all of the trappings of your station? Why aren't you wearing rich robes and eating roasted meats and drinking mead? Why aren't you with all the rest of your knights and ladies in waiting, surrounded by people who admire you? Why are you here in this castle of silence? Just take a moment to revert here so you can see what I'm seeing. It's a storm moving in real life here. It's actually rain coming in on the horizon. So the knight asked the king all these questions. Why are you here in the castle of silence? Why are you alone? Why are you not covered in your perks and trappings of office? And the king replied that yes, the beautiful castle, his normal castle, was very comfortable and lovely to live in, and he did enjoy being surrounded by his knights and beautiful ladies in waiting. And he did enjoy seeing the riches of his kingdom laid out before him on the table. But that from time to time, in order to remain a true king, let's take another break for the view. That's Sycamore Basin down there. I've never been here before. This is all new to me, but that looks like a castle out in the distance, doesn't it? King said, from time to time, I leave my beautiful ridge castle to come here to be in silence, to contemplate, to ground myself, to re-find my center, and to become a person again and not just a king. To become a person again and not just a king. And I think this is a critical task for leaders, especially transformational leaders, who are carrying so much on their shoulders, who are holding a vision for companies and other people and missions and products, services, who are holding the responsibility for, in whatever way they can, moving the culture forward toward something more sustainable, more workable. I think it's easy to become, I know it's easy to become lost in the role, to become overwhelmed, to try to be that transformational leader 24/7 rather than a real person. And although I know that I'm the best at being a transformational leader, I'm my best at working with other leaders when I am bringing my full authenticity to the role, it still is sometimes, I do still sometimes feel overwhelmed or bifurcated by the role instead of just being able to be Charles, being able to be out on the land, so I came out here yesterday to this castle of silence to do my best to remember how to be me. And it was just an overnight. Wasn't really enough in a lot of ways. I need to be able to spend more time out here. But for now, I know that I'm going to take this view, take this juniper tree with me back to my work. And I hope that you will take a little bit of it as well. And I hope that you already have or know how to find ways to get to your silent castle, your still place inside, or outside, the place where you can be still and receptive and aware without all of the trappings, without all of the perks, without all of the people, so that you can come back refreshed and powerful over your kingdom, whatever that might be. Thank you for joining me on this hike today, on this beautiful morning.